Moving on, days after visiting China, Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov has arrived in New Delhi as of now, and he will be holding a meeting with his Indian counterpart, Dr. S Jaishankar, today, and will get on a call later with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi as well. The topics likely to be discussed are the current status of the bilateral relations, with special focus on the recent Quad meeting between India, the US, Japan and Australia. Russia's close relations with India, that is, have become a major counterbalance to the Quad group, and it can be a focal point of the key talks, especially as the US-Russia relations hit a rock bottom under the Biden administration. The forward-going dialogue is expected to touch upon multiple dimensions of China's growing belligerence. Russian Minister Lavrov is also expected to hear India's perspective on the border standoff with China. Russia had played an important role last year in diffusing tensions between Delhi and Beijing following the Galwan standoff. This as Moscow continued to supply defense equipment to the Indian military to guard the LAC. The countries are expected to bring up New Delhi's proposed purchase of the S-400 air defense system from Moscow. Now remember, this has been India's long-standing friction point with Washington, as it has been discouraging India from pursuing Russian military hardware. A note of discord during the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's visit to India was his mention of possible sanctions on India for its impending acquisition of the S-400 defense systems. Cooperation on the ongoing coronavirus crisis, of course, will also be a major topic of discussion between the leaders. Russia's COVID-19 vaccines approval is also expected to be taken up by the Indian regulatory authorities soon. Moving on, India's BRICS chairmanship for this year will also be another focus in the agenda. India, as the chair of the BRICS, will be inviting the member countries for a summit towards the later half of the year. Lavrov will be accompanied by the Russian Special Envoy on Afghanistan, Zamir Kabulov. The development comes after Moscow hosted the Troika Plus talks involving the US, Russia, China and Pakistan on matters related to Afghanistan. India, however, was not invited to the meet. According to sources, Lavrov's visit will be followed by a trip by Russian President Vladimir Putin. April could also see the visit of Russian Deputy Minister Yuri Borisov for the Intergovernmental Commission meeting. Now remember, earlier this year, India's Foreign Secretary Harsh Shringla was on a visit to Moscow, during which he had extended an invitation to the Russian Foreign Minister for his India visit. And earlier, Secretary Vikas Swarup had also visited Moscow for consultations with the Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Vershinin on UNSC-related issues. But still, this is the first visit of any top Russian government official to India this year. And as part of his Asia tour, the Russian Foreign Minister will be visiting Pakistan next. The talks with his Pakistan counterpart will surround a range of issues, including the status of ties, strengthening of trade and countering terrorism in the region. For more on this, WION's principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibal has sent us this report. Take a look.
The Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov is here in India. Today is the main day of engagement. Later today, he will hold consultations and talks with his Indian counterpart, the External Affairs Minister Dr. S Jaishankar, and there will be a press statement, a press conference here in Delhi. Then he, of course, leaves for Islamabad. The two main focus during his visit to India will be on Afghanistan and on the visit of the Russian President Vladimir Putin. We know that later this year, the Russian President Vladimir Putin will come to India for the annual India-Russia bilateral summit. Last year, for the first time in around 20 years, this summit could not happen because of the COVID pandemic. So the focus is that this summit takes place this year, and perhaps it could take place on the sidelines of the BRICS summit, which India will be hosting. But Afghanistan, clearly the top priority. We know that he's accompanied by the Russian Special Envoy on Afghanistan, Kabulov, and we know that how the Russians and the Indians have been engaging on the issue of Afghanistan, the Afghan peace process. The Russians had hosted the Troika Plus meeting. Russia, US and China plus the Pakistanis were invited. India wasn't invited. Perhaps this could come up during the conversations which will happen later today. But nonetheless, a very high level visit happening to New Delhi from Moscow. The first high-level Russian visiting New Delhi, and the focus will be on how to strengthen this age-old partnership. With video journalist Neeraj Patel, Siddhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.
WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.